Alright, it's officially been a few days since the Zenless Zone Zero beta has ended, and we are actually less than a month away of the game being released. So I think it's finally time for me to talk about what are some of the things I want to be changed in Zenless Zone Zero, not even specifically at release, but at some point of the game's lifespan. I think a lot of these changes could hopefully benefit the game a lot more, and just to preface, most of my experience from Zenless Zone Zero comes from playing CBT 3, and I completed most of the content within the game. I have a lot of information and knowledge on the combat system itself, how enemies works, so on and so forth. So the point of view of a lot of these changes will be coming from the gameplay aspect of the game, because I think pretty much everything else about the game is pretty strong. And to start off, I think the main thing they need to do, and it's a feature that they originally had within the previous betas, is that they need to add manual control for chain assist. If you guys are new to Zenless, chain assist is the slow motion feature that happens when you get your days gauge maxed out and you have the ability to swap into two other teammates in order then to perform a chain assist action. This is a really cool, unique system for the game, and I do like it a lot, but I don't like the fact that we don't have control over when we can use it. I understand there is somewhat of a workaround, because you just have to avoid doing certain things like doing the last hit if you're auto combo without doing a special, or I believe triggering a super. All of those things are the main ones that trigger chain assist when days is maxed out, but I hope that they do add the manual control setting that was in the previous CBTs that allowed you to hold the input to prevent you from doing it, or I believe you had to hold the input to trigger it, which I feel like is a lot better system. Having the players have a lot more control of what they can do within Zenless will make the game, in my opinion, a lot better than where it is right now. Please, HoYo, Zenless team, please bring it back upon release. I would love this, and I think a lot of players will actually like the fact of having a lot more control with this option. It's a whole control system feature, mind you guys, when it was in the previous beta. You could turn it on or off, whichever one you wanted. Just add that option back. That's all I ask. The next thing, which is a big thing for me when it comes to making content for the game, and I believe a lot of people will enjoy it as well, especially if you're a big fighting game head, is that it's improving upon the training mode features. Training mode within Zenless Zone Zero is pretty solid, but I need there to be a little bit more features in order to make it probably the best training mode it possibly can. A lot of the things I would like to see is being able to adjust to certain gauges and meter within training mode. I want to be able to see when I'm at a certain amount of health, or when I'm at a certain amount of meter for my supers, or like a certain amount of days on the enemy, what can I actually do to trigger certain events to be happening. But it'll be a very good blessing for us to have the options within our settings to manually set these things, so that again we have more control over how to see how certain situations will work with certain enemies, and so on and so forth. The next thing is being able to enable and disable our EX skills and ultimates. These are things that I believe are automatically filled up within training mode, so we don't have the ability to see what we need to do or can do in order to maximize how much meter we gain throughout our different combos or interactions with characters. This is a really strong thing to have, because again we'll be able to optimize combo routes and stuff within Zenless, and it'll allow us to understand the complexity of the combo system a lot more. It is an easy combat system, so it's nothing too crazy, but again, for people like me that enjoy fighting games, that love laughing, that love looking into like the very integral and small things about the game, this will be wonders for us within the training mode. If you made it to the video this far, be sure to join my battle pass giveaway. I'll be giving away battle passes on the release of Zenless Zone Zero, and all you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and comment down below what are some changes you would like to see in Zenless Zone Zero, or if you agree with any of the changes I provided in the video. I appreciate you guys all your support, but let's get back to the video. Next up is adding more co-op implementations. Co-op currently is only under reckless challenges, so this is the only time we're able to play with friends. I believe co-op should be implemented in a lot more other features within the game, or have co-op specific content for us to play so that we can do with friends. Co-op is a pretty cool feature within gacha games, but a lot of times they aren't pushed or implemented in other things that make them a lot more interesting. They're normally really bare bones, and currently this is where the co-op sits within Zenless. I hope they just don't sit it and leave it here, because there's a lot more they can do with it. And currently it is pretty easy to do co-op within Zenless, because the bosses aren't able to control or fight against multiple characters or multiple players at once, so we need to have other things to be added within it as well, such as like adding maybe multiple boss so they can fight one player at a time, or having big hordes of enemy that comes in against us so that we're able to clear, like something like maybe like a Muso element but with a bit more difficulty. That would actually be pretty cool with Zenless to see, and I hope the servers will be able to handle that. But having something or more options with the co-op feature would just be a very big thing, and something that I believe a lot of players will appreciate because there'll be more things to do to play with friends. Also, add the feature to be able to invite friends. Currently, there is only a matchmaking system within co-op. We aren't able to invite friends or at least join in with friends for co-op gameplay, so please be able to add an invite system for the game upon release or somewhat within the future, pretty early within the game's life, so that we can have fun playing Zenless Zone Zero with our friends. Next up, which is probably one of the most important things on this list, and I probably don't expect it to come on day one of release, but I do hope this is something they progressively work towards within year one of Zenless, and that is making enemy mobs stronger. I think the shine for Zenless is not through the difficulty of the combos within the game, but more so how you interact with enemies in the world. I think this is something that Withering Waves does great, where the combat has its depth to it, but I think most people that play Withering aren't really doing any of the crazy stuff in it. But one of the things that really gets everybody engaged and interacting with the combat system is how the enemies react to the players, and I need something for that to be implemented a bit more for Zenless, because at the current moment the only enemies that truly provide that are a lot of the stronger bosses towards end game, which is fine, but I just want a little more. I think they should do something pretty similar to how they are with end game with Honkai Star, which they've already started implementing with Zenless Zone Zero through Shiro Defense, but providing in-game content for players who want that difficulty, who want that hardcore element of the game. Add those stronger mob enemies there so that we can, feel a little something when we play in the game a bit more. And finally, which is something that I originally didn't have on my list, they need to make bang boos feel more impactful. When playing CBT 3, I honestly didn't really notice when my bang boo was doing things at times because they don't really have a presence to me, in my opinion. I think if they remove the bang boo element from Zenless, you probably really wouldn't notice it because that's how much of an impact they have on the game. I think the only time bang boos really feel like they're really hugely and impactful is when you're either using a really busted one like the ice bang boo in the game, and when they are a part of the chain assist functionality for the team. Outside of that, they don't feel like they have too much of a presence within the game, and I feel like they need to strike that balance where they aren't too busted, but they need to have some form of play or some form of thing that makes them feel like that they have to be, or that they are very important to the integral of making up your team. Currently, I don't feel that right now with a lot of the bang boos that was in CBT 3. A lot of them just kind of feel like they were there. I don't really like that feeling of something just being there, because that means they don't really need to exist in some instances. But the bang boos look cool. They're very cool characters. They're cute. I love them. So I hope that they figure out a way to make them a bit more impactful within the gameplay and add like cool little features and stuff with them, making them very unique from one another. Honestly, it was smart of them to not make them a paid for currency, because I don't believe anybody would have pulled for a bang boo with how unimpactful they are into the game. But the fact they are only obtainable through in-game currency, you'll see people still pull for them just so you can kind of again use the currency that you have, since you can't use on anything else. But find a way to make them more impactful, have some form of importance within the gameplay of the game a bit more, and I believe the bang boos would be in a better spot. But that's all of my issues, or all the things that I believe that they should change with Zenless Zone Zero. Again, not directly on release, but within the game's first year or so. I think Zenless Zone Zero sits in a spot where they do know what they want to do with the game, but I believe it's going to take some time for the game to truly develop before it finally shines and shows how good of a game it truly can be. This is a very important game to me, and I'm very excited to play it because I love the world within it. So whatever I can do to provide my feedback in order to make it a better game, I'll do that, and I'll continue to do that throughout the game's life. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and comment down below what are some changes that you would like to see for Zenless Zone Zero if you play any of the CPTs, or maybe you've seen some gameplay and stuff and you have a pretty solid idea of what you would like to see within the game. Comment all your answers down below. I would love to hear you guys' feedback. I appreciate all you guys' support, and remember to believe in you that believes in yourself. I'll see you guys in the next one.